Most recently, there have been some considerable efforts on the part of my employed institution, which is Duke University. First of all, we have been working particularly with the water shortage that has been brought about. One of the early things that we were made aware of, besides being made conscious of being more careful with the water supply we were using, was Duke made available new shower heads which use less water, and they gave these out to faculty, staff, and students on the campus. It was just a matter of picking them up and installing them in our homes. That was to provide a safety, saving more water. And besides that, they have now gone in to many of the buildings that we work in and we live in. They've installed new toilet apparatus for a flush up or a flush down that will use less water, so that that is another saving apparatus. There are reminders within our facilities reminding us to use less water when we're washing our hands, etc. There is also a Duke Sustainability Pledge that has been put online and has been urged campus-wide for people to think about the various things that we can do as individuals to save on lights, using incandescent bulbs in our homes, turning off copiers and computers, or letting them at least use the power save, about walking or commuting together, that sort of thing, turning off water, and using dining facilities that go green, and using products that are green and ecological whenever possible. So that's something else that they're doing. They even had a Green Focus Day recently, which was advertised on campus. So that's something that Duke is doing right now and encouraging all of its employees to do. But when I began thinking about this and how far back it goes, even before I saw the encouragement of Durham as a community using recycling and the bins being distributed, I had gone back to school some years ago, and that goes back to 1992. I wanted to finish a degree at Salem College in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's a women's college, and even though I was in the arts, I needed a biology course, which was Issues in Environmental Science. And the course itself was about the basic principles of ecology. And its premise was to study world population, the limited resources that we have in terms of water, fossil fuels, pollution, waste disposal, land use, conservation, and possible solutions to the problems that we all face. And it wasn't just within our own hometowns, it was a global issue. And we talk about globalization now. It was beginning this 15 years ago, and I know it goes back further than that, but I think that's significant that a college was teaching this kind of course as a usual thing back then. And among the things that we did when I was in the course was think about ways with each class and each time we went to class of things we could do individually. I was thinking of water use, for example. We were thinking of, instead of using water constantly for things like brushing our teeth or washing our hands or washing our hair, for instance, you simply dampen something, you brush your teeth, and then you rinse, but you use the water in a limited way. You don't continue to let the water run. Same thing with washing hands and so forth. When you're washing clothes, you don't use the full washer if it's not necessary. You use a smaller amount. The same thing with the toilets back then. They didn't have these special toilets that use less water or had special handles. You could use something as simple as a plastic quart milk jug and fill it with water so it would weigh itself down. And so long as you put it in the water tank, toilet tank, where it wouldn't interfere with any of the mechanics, it would work so that you didn't use as much water flow in your toilet tank. So that was another way of saving water. We also worked on saving cardboard, keeping white paper separate from color paper, sending things to places that would pick up newspapers and white papers, shredding whatever we needed to, but seeing that those things went to appropriate places. It's much easier now. There are people who pick it up rather than you're having to take it anywhere. The same with plastics, and one has to be ever so careful now with batteries. And I was reading an article this week in the newspaper about televisions and the lead that leaves in our landfills. But all of these things were brought up, and we were made conscious of what we could do. So progressively, in our home, my husband and I work on these things and do them sort of as a matter of course. And hopefully that contributes in a larger way